It was the campus queen's birthday, and I was ready with 999 roses and a diamond necklace worth $250,000. Just as I was about to call her, a few lines of text scrolled across my vision, like captions from a movie only I could see. LL, the second male lead, Julian Vanderbilt, really thinks a little dirty money is enough to win over our leading lady. Ha, he has no idea the more he loves the campus queen, the more she'll despise him. I turned and gave the flowers and the necklace to the gold digger who'd been chasing me for half a semester. Newbie question, why does she hate him so much? Isn't he hot and rich? The main character, Leo Vance, has a love amplification system. As long as the second male lead, Julian Vanderbilt, increases his love for the female lead, Clara Hayes, her disgust for him will increase, and her love for the main character, Leo, will double. So the more Julian loves her, the more she'll hate him, and the more she'll love Leo. He's just a human plot device to push the real couple together. Look, the main character, Leo Vance, is already hiding behind that tree. He's just waiting for Julian to get rejected so he can swoop in, comfort the girl, and rack up some love points. A plus move from our hero. I froze, my eyes following the caption's directions. There, under the tree, was a guy in a simple white button-down. Wasn't that Leo Vance? He was the brilliant scholarship kid my family had been sponsoring for years, the one Clara always described as hard-working and kind. He was looking right at me, a smug, contemptuous little smile playing on his lips. In that single moment, everything clicked into place. I finally understood why Clara's attitude toward me had taken such a nosedive. In the beginning, she was the one who said she liked me. It was only after I fell for her that she started acting like she couldn't stand the sight of me. It turned out my love was just a stepping stone for Leo Vance. In his eyes, I must have looked like a complete clown. I glanced down at the mountain of roses in my arms and felt a bitter, ironic laugh build in my chest. Julian, Clara's voice cut through the air, cool and laced with a thick layer of impatience. Here we go. Get ready for the classic triple rejection combo. Are you serious? Get away from me. Your stuff makes me sick. Ladies and gentlemen, you can start the countdown. I feel so bad for my girl Clara, having to deal with this kind of harassment every day. Leo, hurry up and protect your woman. She was wearing the white sundress I loved, no makeup on, her brow furrowed as she stared at me. What do you want now? Didn't I tell you to stop bothering me? I don't want to see you. Please get away from me. And stop trying to shove your tacky crap in my face. It honestly just makes me want to throw up. Her lines, they were identical to what the captions had predicted. A chill washed over me. The text said the more I loved her, the more she despised me. So what if I stopped loving her? My gaze drifted past her, scanning the crowd until I spotted a girl in a crop top and heavy makeup. It was Kinsey Morgan, captain of the dance team. The whole campus knew she was a gold digger, and she'd been after me for months. I yelled her name. Kinsey, get over here. Kinsey froze for a second. Then a look of pure ecstasy washed over her face. She navigated the lawn in her heels and practically sprinted toward me, her wide, hopeful eyes locked on mine. I shoved the enormous bouquet of roses into her arms. These are for you. Kinsey stared, stunned for a solid 3 seconds before erupting in a squeal of pure joy. Oh my God, thank you, Julian. I shot a quick glance at Clara. She was staring at me, her expression cold, but I saw a flicker of something, annoyance, anger, flash in her eyes before it was gone. The captions exploded. Oh, what's happening? This isn't in the script. Is the second lead having a psychotic break? He gave the flowers to the side chick. A small smile touched my lips. Then, right in front of Clara, I snapped open the velvet box. The diamond necklace inside glittered, catching the afternoon light in a shower of rainbows. I looked at Kinsey. Call me Daddy, and this necklace is yours. Kinsey was practically trembling with excitement. She stood on her toes, planted a quick kiss on my cheek, and whispered shyly in my ear, Daddy. I wrapped an arm around her waist, pulling her flush against me. Come on, I murmured with a low laugh. Let's go for a ride. Okay. Kinsey was giddy, pressing her entire body against mine. I held her close as we walked away, and not once, from beginning to end, did I give Clara Hayes another glance. By now, the text scrolling in my vision had lost its mind. HLYSD, the script is broken. Writer, get in here. Did you change the plot? What kind of plot twist is this? Why did the simp suddenly run off with the gold digger? I don't buy it. This has to be some new, pathetic tactic from Julian, trying to make Clara jealous. It's so transparent. Exactly. It has to be. Our Clara would never fall for something so cheap. I sped off in my Lamborghini with Kenzie beside me. She was excitedly snapping pictures for her Instagram story. The captions floated in front of me. Whoa, Julian actually left. The script is officially derailed. Our girl Clara is just standing there, stunned. Her face is shifting between pale and flushed. It's better that the second lead is gone. Our hero, Leo, will always be there when the heroine needs him most. A cold smile crept onto my face. Leo just pulled a single cupcake out of his backpack and whispered happy birthday to Clara. The cupcake may be small, but our Leo bought it by pinching pennies. The thought is so much more important than money. Clara's expression is so forced. Even though she said thanks, she kept looking in the direction Julian's car disappeared. That scumbag must have really hurt her feelings. She didn't even eat the cupcake, said she didn't have an appetite, and went back to her dorm alone. This is all Julian's fault. He completely ruined her birthday. A few days later, in the university cafeteria, Leo pushed the few stray bits of ground meat from his tray onto Clara's. Clara, eat more. You've gotten thinner these past few days. His eyes were full of pity. Don't waste your energy being angry at irrelevant people. It's not worth it. Clara forced a smile, pushing the rice around on her plate with her fork, clearly having lost her appetite. Just then, a shriek of excitement came from a nearby table of girls. Oh my God, look at Kenzie Morgan's Instagram. She and Julian are at Aura. You mean that place that's like $1,000 a person and you have to book 3 months in advance? The 3-star Michelin one? This photo is gorgeous. Holy crap, that tomahawk steak is bigger than my face. Clara's hand froze. Almost unconsciously, she unlocked her phone and opened the app she hadn't looked at in 3 days. Instagram. She saw Kenzie, wearing glamorous makeup, smiling brilliantly for the camera. Around her neck, refracting the light into a blinding glare, was the $250,000 diamond necklace that should have been hers. She saw another photo of Kenzie nestled in my lap, lovingly feeding me a piece of steak. The caption was a dagger to the heart. Daddy says he loves it when I cut his steak for him. Below was a long stream of likes and comments. It felt like half the school was fawning over it. The word daddy felt like 2 poison needles stabbing into Clara's eyes. She looked down at the bland vegetables and tofu on her own tray. An indescribable wave of bitterness and humiliation surged up from the pit of her stomach. The rice in her mouth suddenly tasted like wax. That scumbag and his trashy girlfriend are going too far. They made Clara's face go completely pale. She can barely hold her chopsticks. Hearing the commotion, Leo frowned, a flash of annoyance and contempt in his eyes. Noticing the look on Clara's face, he tried to comfort her. Clara, ignore them. They're such shallow people. What's so great about all that flashy vanity they build with money? We're different from them. Our happiness is built on shared ideals and a spiritual connection. 3 days ago, those words might have worked on Clara, but right now, they sounded incredibly grating to her ears. It's easy for you to be dismissive, she thought, because you could never provide it anyway. For the first time, she didn't agree with him. Instead, she put her chopsticks down with a clatter, her voice tinged with a resentment she didn't even realize was there. I'm full. With that, she stood up and, ignoring Leo's stun calls, walked straight out of the noisy cafeteria. She ended up on the athletic field, alone. The evening breeze was cool against her skin, but it did nothing to dispel the agitated heat in her chest. Her mind was stuck on a loop, replaying the image of Kenzie curled up in my lap, feeding me steak. She suddenly remembered all the times I had asked her out to high-end restaurants. She had rejected every single invitation, always saying she didn't like those kinds of places. At the time, she thought she was being noble above it all. But now she realized it wasn't that she didn't like it. She was just used to rejecting me. She was used to enjoying my pursuit, while simultaneously looking down on my tacky methods. But now that all of it was being given to someone else, now that the fireworks that once exploded only for her were lighting up another girl's sky, she felt a bone-deep sense of loss and injustice. The captions were flying across my vision. The second lead is such an asshole, provoking our Clara like this. He's doing it on purpose. I told you. If he can't have her, he wants to destroy her, using these vulgar displays of wealth to hurt her. It's disgusting. My poor Clara. She's just not used to this yet. Leo, go comfort her. See, the second lead is still in love with her. Otherwise, why would he use such a childish method to get her attention? It's pathetic, this twisted kind of love. Exactly. The more he acts out like this, the more it proves he can't let her go. Our goddess Clara is irresistible. I glanced at the self-deceiving captions, then turned off my phone and popped the last piece of steak into my mouth. It was delicious. 3 Clara and Leo were in a Cold War for 2 days. Leo finally used his scholarship money to buy Clara a $20 silver necklace she'd been eyeing for a while, which was enough to win her back. Seeing the screen full of comments like, "Our hero is so sweet," and "This is what real, simple love looks like," I almost laughed out loud. I offer her a $250,000 diamond necklace, and she calls it tacky with a disgusted look on her face. A week later, on Kenzie's birthday, I was driving her to dinner when I saw 2 familiar figures standing next to a beat-up electric scooter on the side of the road. Leo was crouched down, sweating, tinkering with the scooter, his hands covered in black grease. Beside him stood Clara, looking utterly annoyed. A noticeable smudge of grime stained the hem of her clean, white dress. Oh no, what bad luck. Why did the scooter have to break down now? Ah, our poor Clara's feet must be getting tired from standing so long. It's fine. This is just a cute, romantic little hiccup for our main couple. This gives our hero a chance to give the heroine a foot massage. Hearing the low rumble of my Lamborghini, Clara instinctively looked over. Kenzie giggled, deliberately leaning out the window and waving at them, her voice sickeningly sweet. "Hey, Leo, the genius, and Clara, the campus queen. Are you two trying out the simple life? Need a ride?" Leo shot to his feet, his face beet red as he glared at me. "Julian, Kinsey, don't you go too far." I didn't even bother to look at him. I hit the gas and left them in the dust. In the rearview mirror, I saw her, frozen in place, staring intently at my departing car. Jerk, he obviously drove by just to humiliate them. So disgusting. What's so great about a stupid car? Our Clara doesn't care about that stuff? Exactly. She's just grossed out by his behavior. The one she loves will always be Leo? Is that so? I didn't think so. At the apex of the Summit restaurant, I threw Kinsey the most extravagant birthday party imaginable. I didn't deliberately publicize it, but the trust fund, kids, and socialites I invited had already broadcast the entire lavish affair to every corner of the campus through their Instagram stories. The captions in front of me refreshed nonstop. "I'm blind. This is a birthday party, a 6-foot-tall cake." Clara's little cupcake was a complete joke. "Oh my God, Clara is watching the live feed. Her roommate is watching, and she's standing right next to her. Her face is as white as a sheet. The main couple is fighting. It's over. It's over. The ship has officially sunk." Leo was left speechless, and she hung up on him. The heroine is crying. It's all the second lead's fault for showing off. He made our girl cry. Why do I kind of feel bad for her? But then I remember how she used to treat Julian, and I think she deserves it. Seeing this, I let out a soft laugh. Some things, once you miss them, are gone for good. For after Kenzie's birthday party, the university's online forum exploded. The top thread was titled, "Shocker, Prince Simp Julian Vanderbilt dumps campus queen for gold digger." In the thread, 90% of the comments were calling me a scumbag and Kenzie a gold digger. Kenzie showed me her phone, her cheeks puffed out in frustration. "Baby, they're all trashing me." I smiled. "And what do you think?" She snorted, a sharp glint in her pretty eyes. "I couldn't care less. They're just jealous. The gifts you used to give Clara were way more expensive than what you give me, and they call that true love. Now you give me the B-list stuff, and they call me a gold digger. Honestly, they just think a poor but beautiful girl like Clara deserves your money, and a self-aware gold digger like me is an eyesore." That was one of the best things about Kenzie. She wasn't greedy or demanding, and she constantly provided me with emotional support, proactively catering to my every need. Damn, the side chick speech. She kind of has a point. Is it just me, or is Kinsey suddenly kind of awesome? So your morals just follow whoever is hot and rich? Huh. Wake up, people. A few days later, in the library, I was sitting with Kinsey, studying, when Clara slammed a book down on our table with a loud bang. She glared at me. Julian, do you really have to be like this? I looked up, my gaze lazy. Is there a problem, Miss Hayes? Don't play dumb, she said, pointing a finger at me, her voice laced with fury. Do you think doing all this will make me care? You're just proving how cheap and empty you are. This method of getting attention is truly pathetic. The text in my vision was even more agitated than she was. Clara, you tell him, destroy that scumbag. He's definitely still trying to get her attention. I knew it. The second lead's love is just that twisted. I gently stroked the back of Kinsey's hand and chuckled. Clara, are you maybe taking yourself a little too seriously? When I wanted you, you were everything. Now that I don't, you're less than nothing. The color drained from her face instantly. She turned and ran away, tears streaming down her cheeks. Hiding behind a nearby bookshelf, Leo Vance stared at me, his eyes filled with a venomous hatred. For once, the caption showed a rare spark of humor. Warning, warning, main character's malice value towards second male lead is rising. Prepare for annihilation. Ha ha ha, he's rattled. 5 after I stopped chasing Clara, Leo's love amplification system seemed to malfunction. With my affection completely redirected, Clara's fondness for him not only stopped growing, but actually began to decrease. Their arguments became more and more frequent. I thought Leo might back off, but I had underestimated the depravity of a petty man. That night, I had just closed a business deal and was heading home. Suddenly, a few lines of text exploded in front of my eyes. Leo has lost his mind. He hired those towny thugs. He's going to destroy Kinsey. HYST. He told them to corner Kinsey in that unmonitored alley outside the North Gate. He wants them to take naked pictures of her to ruin her reputation. That's so evil. If she gets exposed like that, a rich guy from a prominent family like Julian would definitely dump her in a heartbeat. What kind of human being comes up with a plan like that? He's a monster. Wait, the hero turned into the villain? Author, did your account get hacked? This is not the plot I remember. I slammed my foot on the gas, yanked the wheel, and the car screeched in a U-turn, rocketing toward the North Gate. I skidded to a halt at the mouth of the alley. The second I jumped out of the car and ran in, I heard the sleazy laughter of several men, mixed with Kinsey's terrified screams. Yo, boss, this chick is hot. Even better than her pictures. Don't scream. Little lady, no one's going to hear you. Just as their filthy hands were about to rip Kinsey's clothes, I crashed into them. Thwack! With a sickening thud, the bleach blonde creep in the front went down, clutching his head and howling in pain. The other two spun around in shock, but before they could even register my face, my fist, wrapped in fury, smashed into theirs. The sharp crack of bone breaking echoed eerily in the silent alley. A few minutes later, the only things left were 3 heaps of garbage groaning on the pavement. Kinsey threw herself into my arms, sobbing uncontrollably. I took off my jacket and draped it over her trembling shoulders. It's okay, I murmured. How about you? Don't be afraid. Just then, Leo and Clara appeared at the entrance to the alley. Julian, what are you doing here? What happened? His words died in his throat as he took in the scene. A flash of anger, the rage of a failed plan, crossed his face before he expertly masked it. He hurried over, feigning shock as he looked at Kinsey, who was shaking in my arms. Oh my God. Kinsey, are you okay? These guys are unbelievable, doing something like this so close to campus. Clara followed him in, her expression complex as her eyes landed on my arm, held tightly around Kinsey. Her lips parted, but she said nothing. Leo continued, Don't worry, Kinsey. Only the 4 of us know you were assaulted. For the sake of your reputation, we won't tell anyone. Then he turned to me. Julian, I know you care about Kinsey. Don't worry. As long as we keep quiet, your family will never know she was violated, and they won't object to you two being together. Damn, he's trying to imply to Julian that Kinsey was already assaulted. Disgusting. He wants Julian to be the one to dump her. Hearing him repeat the words assaulted and violated, I spun around and slapped him across the face, so hard that blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. Annoying little insect. Shut your mouth. Without another word, I swept Kinsey up into my arms. She let out a small gasp, wrapping her arms tightly around my neck and burying her face in my chest. We're going home. Why, yes, so satisfying. That slap was epic. Julian's boyfriend level is off the charts. Kinsey chose the right guy. Clara is completely stunned. The way she's looking at Julian has totally changed. From beginning to end, Clara's eyes were glued to me. She watched me gently wrap my jacket around Kinsey. She watched me defend Kinsey without question. She watched me scoop her up in my arms like she was the most precious thing in the world. The regret in her eyes was so thick it was practically overflowing. That protection, that gentleness, it should have been hers. And she was the one who had single-handedly pushed it all away. I carried Kinsey right past Clara, without so much as a glance in her direction. As I walked away, I saw her lips move, as if she was trying to say something, but no sound came out. Clara skipped classes for several days straight, but thanks to the captions, I got a constant stream of updates on her condition. Clara hasn't been to class in 3 days. She's barely eating, just sits in her dorm and stares into space. Leo went to see her, but she's ignoring him. My God, how did our sweet couple end up like this? It's all Julian's fault, that bastard. He must have been psychologically messing with her. He drove our pure goddess into a depression. Stop talking nonsense. I think Clara is just getting what she deserved. When Julian was chasing her, she couldn't be bothered. Now that he's not, she can't eat or sleep. Shut up. You're the one who deserves it. Our Clara is just not used to it. She was traumatized by Julian's constant harassment. I ignored the bickering text and focused on my own life. It wasn't until a week later at the Student Government Association's annual gala that I saw Clara again. As the SGA's biggest donor, I was naturally seated at the head table. Clara had been invited as an outstanding student representative. She had changed. Gone was the faded sundress. In its place was a pale blue cocktail dress. She wore light makeup, and her long hair fell softly over her shoulders. It was the dress I had once given her as a gift. At the time, she had looked at it with pure disgust, but now she was wearing it. She was beautiful, like a lily dappled with morning dew, and she captured everyone's attention the moment she walked in. When our eyes met, hers lit up. She picked up a glass of juice and walked directly toward me. Wow, Clara looks amazing in that dress. She definitely wore it for Julian. I knew she still had feelings for him. Wake up, you delusional shippers. She's obviously here to see Leo. He's at the head table too. No way, look at her eyes. She hasn't taken them off Julian since she walked in. The captions devolved into a chaotic argument, but Clara had already reached my table. Her beautiful eyes reflected only me. Julian, she said, her voice soft, laced with a nervousness she couldn't hide. Can I talk to you for a minute? It was the first time she had ever spoken to me with something approaching a plea. A year ago, I would have lost my mind with joy. Now I just found it pathetic. Before I could speak, Kinsey, sitting beside me, made her displeasure known. She deliberately linked her arm with mine and purred. My boyfriend is with me right now. Can't whatever you have to say wait? Clara's face went pale. Her free hand, hanging at her side, clenched the fabric of her dress. She ignored Kinsey, her gaze fixed stubbornly on me. Her eyes began to glisten with unshed tears, making her look utterly pitiful. Just for a few minutes, please? Whoa, Clara's about to cry. Julian, you heartless bastard. Just say yes. If he dares to say no, I'm going to climb into this story and kill him myself. Leo's face is as black as a thundercloud. His own girlfriend begging another guy right in front of him. This is intense. About what? I asked coolly. About how you used to treat me like an idiot, or about how I currently treat you like thin air. The blood drained from Clara's face in an instant. That's not what I meant. She stammered, her voice cracking as she fought back a sob. Well, I did before. That was my fault. I'm sorry. Please don't be like this with me, okay? She was starting to regret it. Now that the figure who had always chased her was gone. Now that the devotion she once took for granted was being showered on someone else. Now that the charm she was so proud of had completely failed to work on me, she was finally starting to feel a sense of panic. Oh my God, did I just hear that right? Is Clara apologizing? This plot, I don't even understand it anymore. Leo finally couldn't take it anymore. He shot to his feet, yanked Clara behind him, and glared at me with fire in his eyes. Julian, that's enough. What kind of man are you? Humiliating a girl in public like this. I laughed. What kind of man I am is none of your business. I looked down on him, my eyes like ice. But you, Leo, what the hell are you? Wearing clothes paid for by a Vanderbilt family scholarship, using money provided by the Vanderbilt family, at a gala sponsored by the Vanderbilt family, you have the audacity to shout at me. With every sentence, I took a step forward, my presence completely overwhelming him. You tell me, who gave you the nerve? Leo's face turned a shade of dark purple. He was so cornered he couldn't utter a single word. All his pride, all his self-respect crumbled into dust before the words Vanderbilt family. And you? I turned my head to look at Clara, who was hiding behind him, her eyes red and tear-filled. I sneered internally. Drop the cheap, pitiful act. When you two were standing on the sidelines laughing at me, did you ever think this day would come? My patience, my affection, it's very expensive, and you've used it all up. Now, take your man and get out of my sight. You're polluting the air. Without another look at them, I wrapped my arm around Kenzie's waist and turned toward the terrace. It's getting stuffy in here. Let's get some fresh air. Meanwhile, the captions were scrolling furiously in my vision. Is Julian insane? How could he say that to our Clara? He's gone too far. Using money to humiliate people. The ugly face of a capitalist. I feel so bad for Leo, having his deepest insecurities exposed in public like that. My poor Clara. She already apologized. Why does Julian have to be so aggressive? He was never like this before. He's just a possessive psycho who wants to destroy what he can't have. He's terrifying. Clara, run. I mean, not to be that person. But isn't everything Julian said true? When he was being treated like a circus monkey, none of you seemed to feel bad for him. If your moral compass is that broken, just shut up. Our Clara and Leo are the victims here. After the gala, Clara locked herself in her dorm room. Oh my God. What is Clara doing? She just pulled that dusty box out from under her bed. I sent that. Isn't that the stuff Julian used to give her? I thought she said she threw it all away. She kept it. She's crying. She's hugging that little teddy bear Julian gave her and just sobbing her heart out. Is she losing it? She's scrolling through her phone, reading all the old messages Julian sent her, one by one, crying as she reads. Leo is knocking on her door, but she's completely ignoring him. She turned her phone volume all the way up and is listening to Julian's old voicemails on a loop. I think she actually regrets it. But what's the point now? Julian is done with her. I watched the text scroll by, feeling nothing. You reap what you sow. On the day final grades were posted, a massive crowd gathered in front of the university's main bulletin board. I had just parked my car when I saw Clara. She was squeezed into the crowd, and when she saw the string of bright red Fs next to her name, her body swayed, and she nearly collapsed. For someone whose academic performance was her only source of pride, it was a devastating blow. She turned away, looking completely lost, and then she saw me. She ran, completely reckless, and threw herself in front of my car, blocking my path with her outstretched arms. She was wearing that white sundress, the one I used to love most. Students all around us stopped, pointing and whispering. I stared at her, my face a mask of indifference, not even bothering to roll down the window. What is she doing? Please don't tell me she's going to do something stupid. Poor Clara. She must have hit rock bottom to go to Julian like this. Julian is a monster. Look at that cold expression. He's definitely going to humiliate her again. Then, with a soft thud, she dropped to her knees in front of my car. The text in my vision was instantly flooded with a tidal wave of holy ST, and she knelt on the asphalt, her tear-streaked face tilted up toward me, her voice hoarse and pleading. Julian, I'm begging you. Please stop torturing me. It was all my fault before. I was out of my mind. I was so blind. I shouldn't have trampled on your feelings. I shouldn't have enjoyed everything you did for me while getting close to Leo. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. As she spoke, she raised her hand and began to slap her own face hard. The crisp, loud sounds echoed in the quiet parking lot. I'm begging you, please come back. Treat me like you used to, please. If you come back, I'll do anything you want. I'll never be cold to you again. I'll never see Leo again. Her cries were heart-wrenching. Clara, what are you doing? Get up. Leo, looking like a man possessed, burst from the crowd and tried to pull her to her feet. But this time, Clara used every ounce of her strength to violently shove his hand away. "Get off me," she shrieked at him. "It's you. This is all your fault. If it weren't for you, Julian wouldn't have left me. Get away from me." Leo stumbled backward, an expression of pure disbelief on his face. That face, which always wore a gentle smile, was now a mask of shock and pain. He probably never imagined that the girl who once looked at him with nothing but adoration would now be staring at him with such venomous hatred. Oh my God! The drama of the year. The main couple is imploding in public. It's over, it's all over. Clara is really in love with Julian now. I rolled down my window. As Clara looked at me with a desperate, hopeful gaze, I spoke calmly. "Clara, I don't love you anymore." After I drove away, Clara collapsed and was taken to the campus clinic. When she woke up, she asked to see Leo. On the roof of the engineering building, Clara's face was a twisted mask of rage. "Leo, you ruined my life. You were the one who made me treat his love like garbage. You were the one who let me shamelessly enjoy his kindness while looking down on him as a person. You were the one who made me miss out on the only person who ever truly cared for me. You turned me into this pathetic, laughable wretch that even I can't stand to look at." Her voice grew louder and more frantic until it became a piercing shriek. She pulled out a small paring knife. With all her strength, she plunged the gleaming blade into his stomach. Once, twice, 3 times. She was like a machine, mindlessly repeating the motion as blood splattered across her face and clothes. Leo's eyes were wide with disbelief. Until the moment he died, he couldn't understand why the girl who once loved him so completely would attack him with such ferocity. He crumpled to the ground, his body twitching on the cold concrete before finally going still. Clara dropped the knife. She stared blankly at her blood-soaked hands. And then she smiled. As she smiled, tears streamed down her face. The sound of sirens soon filled the campus. Clara didn't run. She just sat there, next to Leo's body, and allowed the police to snap the cold, steel handcuffs around her wrists. As they led her away, she sent me one last text message. "Julian, I'm sorry. If there's a next life, I promise, I'll love you right." Leo was dead. Clara's life was ruined. And the ridiculous love amplification system that had bound me, with its host and its medium now gone, vanished into thin air. I drove my car to the campus entrance. In the distance, a girl in a crop top and perfect makeup was standing on her toes, anxiously looking around. It was Kenzie. I had asked her to a movie, and she had come early to wait, worried I might not see her. When she spotted my car, her eyes lit up, and she ran over. When she saw the ring box I was holding, she froze, her hand flying to her mouth in shocked, disbelieving joy. "Daddy, is that for me?"